All right, let's take a look and see how you did on these two problems. Hopefully they were pretty simple. I hope so anyway. 6 miles. If the trip is actually 45 miles, how far is it on the map? So basically what we could do is we could come up with the inches, we could come up with the miles here, and we know that we have the scale factor to start with. We know what that little key says. It says 1 inch equals 6 miles. I want to know how far is it on the map if we've got 45 miles in real life. So basically what we could do is, since we have a scale factor, I could probably count up by 6 and see if I can get to 45, and then count up by 1s the same amount of times. But I already know that 6 goes into 45. Let's see, 6 goes into 45. Well, 6 doesn't go into 45, so we're going to have to do something here to kind of work it out. So that's not a problem at all. One thing that we could do is I could count by 6s. I'm going to use a space over here just to see. I could go 1 is 6 miles, 2 is 12, 3 is 18, and I could just keep doing this, which would be fine, and you'll understand in a second why I'm doing this. 36 would be 36, 7 would be 42, and the problem is we have to get to 45, but we can only get to 42. And then something that you could do is I could go back here, and I know we need 3 more miles, so that would be easy to divide it by 2. If I cut that in half and divide by 2, that's going to be 3, and if I divide that by 2, half of 1 is 1/2. So then if I put another 3, now we're up to 45, but on this side I would actually have to count by a half, so my answer is actually going to be 7.5. So 7.5 inches on the actual map is 45 miles in real life. So my answer would be 7.5. That would be one way you could do it. You could count by the chart. Now, what I'm guessing a lot of you guys did, because a lot of you guys have really attached to this method, which works fine, is if I have 45, I can do 45 divided by 6. And I bet a lot of people did that. I'm just going to use my calculator and do 45 divided by 6. And I got 7.5. Okay, so I know to get from here to here, that would be a times 7.5. 6 times 7.5 is 45. So I have to multiply the other side by 7.5. So my answer is going to 1 times 7.5 is 7.5. So that would be my answer to that one. Either way would be fine, or probably other ways you could use to come up with this. Now this guy over here, if we have 10 centimeters and 110 feet, and I'm just going to label them at the top, I need a scale factor. So I need this so the centimeters gets down to 1. That would make sense for our map. Because on our map, we wouldn't say, well, 1 foot on the map, because the map's not going to be a foot long, or the diagram is probably not going to be a foot long. So we could fit a lot of centimeters on the map. So let's get this down to 1 for our scale factor. So if we got that down to 1, to get 10 down to 1, we'd have to divide by 10. That would be 1. So now I need to divide the other side by 10. And 110 divided by 10, I got to think that's 11, because 10 goes into 10, or 10 times 10 is 100, and another 10 would be 11. So this would be my answer right here. This would be my scale factor. For every 1 centimeter on the chart or graph, or on the diagram in this case, it's going to be 11 feet actually in real life. Now, we had a couple different situations that we went through on these. If you still have questions, make sure you let me know.